APL Volumes presents Austin Creates. Austin Creates is an interview series where we explore creativity in Austin with people who are passionate about what they make. Today I sat down with local hip-hop group Magna Carda.
Kelly got that ego, Beyonce. Good looking mags, I'm snatching up your fiance. Ain't got that hot, that cayenne, got that picante. I serve it blazing, baby, how that fire taste. Even when I'm wearing the water, got that fire taste. They gon' see me eventually like it's a blind date, but they ain't on this level, I don't see them like my eyes fake. Better hit the fire escape and keep quiet for your mama's sake. Max Kelly stacking body bags on top of body bags. You don't like me and you want the business, you know where to find me at. I get on this beat and get to riding like a Pontiac, laying down these fire tracks like karate mats. After this one, they gon' want my head, they'll be after me. Because I killed it, I did it, that Casey Anthony. I took this whole loop and made it to a masterpiece. The maxes on my feet look like I just stepped out of Fashion Week. I'm fire, ho. And you ain't putting me out with no fire hose. Full of that cayenne, I get the spitting and put on a fire show.
This was our conversation. We're back again at the Austin Public Library. This is APL Volumes, and I'm really excited because today we're here with Magna Carda. We got Dougie, we got Megs, and we got Derek.
Yep.
One of the first things I'm interested in hearing about is Austin's not known for hip-hop.
Yes.
I mean,
that is correct.
So what has your experience been gaining acceptance in a city that hasn't been known for traditionally supporting hip-hop?
It's definitely been a slow start. We were entering the scene with just Dougie Doo and I, and this was kind of before we explored. Well, when we first started, we played with a band, but it was not totally that great. So we dropped that, and we went to the DJ rapper setup, and we had a hard time booking things. We had a hard time getting people on our side that we weren't going to bring out a certain crowd, or I don't know what they thought was going to happen if they booked us. I don't know if they expected like gunshots or something. It really wasn't that crucial. And that's one of the important things about being a hip hop artist in Austin is you really have to break down that stereotype, and you have to break down that third wall that people don't want to do themselves.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is one. Like, usually it'll be like, we'll email them, and then the only questions they ask is, they're like, what kind of crowd are you bringing in? What people are coming in? And all this kind of, like, weird stuff that, you know, like, you don't really hear, like, outside of, like, in Houston, like, you don't hear that. In Dallas, you don't hear that. Like, what kind of people you're bringing out? But here, it was, like, on a regular basis. So it's a weird city, but it's getting there.
And where do you think you're at now? How much progress have you seen just in the time that you've been active?
I'm not sure if it was a coincidence or if more people just saw a few bands around town, like I Say Us and Riders Against the Storm, and at the same time we all were kind of rising, and I'm not sure if it was like a coincidence that a lot of other people jumped on board into the hip-hop scene and started doing more shows and stuff like that, or if it was, I don't know. But now it definitely seems like there's a lot more hip-hop artists, a lot more shows catered to hip-hop, and it actually brings a lot of people out. It's something that was missing.
It's like people aren't afraid to say they're a rapper anymore here. Before they were like, oh, you know, I do music on the east side, and then you go over there and you go in and it's rap. You're like, well, I'm leaving now. So but people are like, you know, I'm down for this now. And so, yeah, like Meg was saying, I don't know if it was coincidence or like it just kind of happened. But as the clubs were becoming more acceptable to like hip hop heads, then we were like already at the front door, like, hey, it'd be cool if we could do something here. So
there's been a lot of hip hop in this town, but a lot of it hasn't really been pushed to the forefront. Like, I know groups like Leagues of Extraordinary G's, and there's a couple others that have been around for
Crew 54.
Crew 54,
LNS Crew.
LNS
they've
Crew,
been
yeah.
moving for a while. So, but they've always been fighting for acceptance. And I remember I started working at the Austin Chronicle like 3 years ago, and it was a really big deal when one of the League's members got on the cover. Unfortunately, it was because he just got shot, but it was a big deal for them to get on the cover. And after that point, I really see that almost as a catalyst, because after that point, people became a little more open to hip hop. Austin has kind of developed, or it's kind of a blank canvas. when you think of different cities like Dallas and Houston, they already have their sound, but Austin really hasn't defined its sound yet.
That's cool. You brought up an interesting point. You said that Austin doesn't, as far as hip hop, doesn't have a sound. I think there are definitely genres here that are more prominent, but I'm not sure that Austin, considering the whole music scene, necessarily has its sound set yet. What's the sound of Austin? What's the sound of, and even Austin hip hop?
It's pretty, I mean, it's still like, it's an open canvas,
And
which
it's,
is a nice
yeah,
thing.
it's almost like nostalgic in a way. I feel like most of the artists here are really pulling from something in the past or really remind a lot of people of like music in the past. And it kind of fits with the like Austin feel because everything here is so 70s.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying we're going that far back, but if I had to think of something that's close to an Austin sound, because I still feel like it's really open. A lot of people are doing a lot of different things. I say a lot of people get inspiration from the past, even if they're more on the like modern tip of rap. They're still, you know, going back to the UGK sound down in Houston or like the old like beginnings of trap. You know, stuff like that. So I still feel like even if it's pushing at the tip of the like modernized genre of rap, it's still going back doing its homework in the bit. So I say has like this old school feel to it.
It's like people trying to make their own make their own sound here, because there's not like a defined sound, and everyone's trying to be that one that gets defined. But then you get the Houston rappers coming in, the Dallas rappers coming in, then you get the New York cats coming in.
Yeah, everyone's from somewhere different here.
And
so
then try and install
I guess
that sound
that's
here.
why too. And then if you are from Austin, you don't really have anything to look up to because there's not
No
it's
one
not
that's,
a
like,
huge market
made
for
it well.
hip hop and rap. That may be why there is no sound.
I've heard from other musicians that have been in New York or LA or Nashville or any of the other big music scenes that you quickly get put into this box and you are this and these are the producers you can work with, these are the other artists, and these are the places you can play. How much do you see that here in Austin, or is it different here?
I don't want to knock anybody, but other cities, there's definitely a box. Like when we went to see visit LA and like the Cali Coast and all that, there's a different like it's like these are the venues. This is where hip hop is. You don't play hip hop on the other side of the street because that's not a hip hop venue.
I guess Austin doesn't have a box
And
because
it's never really
a box has never been made for hip hop, for this genre.
Yeah.
Or not even this genre, but honestly, everything along the lines of soul. Not like blues and stuff like that, because you can see that. You can catch that on 6th Street. But stuff like R&B, soul, neo soul, R&B, I say R&B, hip hop, rap, anything along the lines of that, there's not really a home for it or a place for it. There's not like an R&B club out here or, you know, so we don't really have anywhere to go, so we kind of play it anywhere.
Yeah, I'd say we have shared a stage with just about every genre that you can think of. So I don't think there's much of a box here.
That's cool. That's one of the things I like about the music scene here. Since you aren't really restrained, like putting these boxes here in Austin, who's out there that you would want to work with? Who's just like someone that would be unexpected? Magna Carda is going to come out with a hit with like Willie Nelson or something. Like,
You never know.
I would love that.
I would be down.
I would be down.
all right, you heard it here first.
Get
All right, Willie, what's up?
Willie, Snoop, and
It
us.
would be a smoky studio.
Very hazy studio.
Willie. I mean, we're right now we're in the process of putting together an album, and so we have actually been exploring this. I don't want to give out any secrets, but I would say some of the artists we've been reaching out to or thinking about reaching out to, it's really not who you'd expect us to pair with,
Yeah,
or
it's
you may think they may be like out of reach for us.
I've got like a list of like 5 people that are in the Austin community that would be dope. Like especially,
Yeah.
I was just thinking this today. Esperanza Spalding would be
Ooh,
dope.
dope.
I just
I
watched
know she's
her
got a house.
PBS.
She's in
or-
Austin?
Yeah, she got a house
she,
here.
she recorded in Austin.
About to go
She's got
find
a
your
little
house, Spalding.
Or she's got a room up in the hills. I don't know, but she's in town every now and then, and she is like, she's
That
the
would be
bee's
dope.
knees. She's awesome.
Wait, who was
Yeah,
the other 4?
Yeah.
Well, other things
That's
that have
one.
been brought up, Gary Clark Jr. would be dope. Max Frost would be dope. Tamika Jones would be dope. Jimmy Vaughn, anybody in Double Trouble.
What are you about to say, Chris?
I was gonna say who's the last pick.
I came up with this list. I was thinking of these names the other day. I'm gonna read it to you. Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, MC Lyte, The Brat, Queen Latifah, Missy Elliott, Salt and Pepper, Lil Kim, Foxy Brown. There was even Mia X,
Mia.
Trina.
Yeah, about
You heard?
I was making that list because I was thinking there were, like, back in the 90s, there were all these women in hip hop.
Yes.
They were respected and they had hit records and
they didn't have to show cleavage.
exactly.
Yeah,
that was my
they
last
were
point. They didn't have
up
to
there with
be
the
like
boys.
sexualized as these objects. For you, what has your experience been as a woman in hip hop, and where did they all go? Like, what happened? You know, like, because I was thinking now, like, who do we have? We have like Nicki.
I would. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say that.
I mean, Missy's still somewhat relevant.
Missy's relevant as like that mentor though now.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you might get another Missy album, but she's
Single
definitely mentoring people now and kind of. First of all, like reading that list, it gives me the same feeling of when I thought back to 90s television, just because I associate with like the LGBT community and black community. Watching 90s television, it's just like you're looking at it and you're like, dang, where did all these black shows go? And I guess now that you say this list, I'm thinking, wow, where did all these people go? Man, I have no idea where they went, but I know they all kind of tried to come back in some kind of form or fashion. And it almost seemed like they were denied by, like, us, you know, which it was like, you're not Nicki, you're not, and I'm just like, what do you mean? She MC Lyte. She don't have to be Nicki. There is no Nicki without MC Lyte. There is no Iggy Azalea without, let's act like I didn't say that name.
We can edit that.
I see you. Iggy.
You can edit
I see you,
that.
Iggy.
Edit that out. But what the response that I get mostly, I would say I'm kind of like at a different angle because I'm like a lesbian. I couldn't be sexualized if I wanted to, or not in that manner. Like I couldn't be Lil Kim if somebody was like, hey, here's 50 million, be Lil Kim. That's not me. It's just not gonna happen. I definitely got a different response, and I would say that I get compared to like a lot of those people, and I don't take all of those comparisons because I feel like they're bigger than me. That's my influence, and that's probably why I didn't grow up in the 90s, but I would say hip hop and rap, my first experience with music was 90s music. That's what I was hearing. I was, you know, seeing Mia X on TV with No Limit was like normal. You know, there were a lot of female rappers, Trina, you know, everyone you said. And so that was normal for me. And then I guess growing up, I honestly feel like things are not progressing, but actually going backwards. And I don't know what's up with that. Everything from like when I talked about the TV shows to like Martin and Fresh Prince and all of this stuff that you used to see, and you see like there's 3 black shows on TV now, and there's like 3 female rappers out now. Like it seems like it's going backwards, and I don't know what's up with that. And I think a lot of that may have to do because now in our generation, that really is how a lot of people see women. The videos went from Queen Latifah in baggy pants talking about don't call me a bitch to you look at a video and all the women in the video are half naked. And that's just the post-2000 era. And I think that has kind of shaped what a female or what a woman is supposed to be. That's not right. And I think people that are trying to break into the game are trying to go with that model of what maybe the male rapper created as who he thinks the female rapper should be. It's not cool.
Yeah, there's a scene, and is it called Biggie? I don't remember what that movie's called.
Notorious.
Yeah, where, I don't know if you remember that part, but he tells Lil Kim,
yeah,
he's like, dudes don't want to hear a girl rap like that. Like, they want to hear you talk about sex. Yeah, it's kind of a sad scene.
Yeah,
like
that's probably the turn of it right there.
Rappers, like,
yeah, because they're the ones that have they're the ones that have the power to put you on. It's really hard for like a woman to go in there and straight up say, look, here's my skills, I'm spitting, give me my deal. Like a dude could go up in there and do that, but 9 times out of 10, a woman has to have some kind of guy guiding her to the people that she needs to be in front of. And so if they feel like they're gonna make her who they want her to be to present her to these people to get her on, then you have a woman who's not herself anymore. She's a created product and she's just out there spitting. I'm not really sure. I mean, I used to listen to old Nicki, And yeah, it has its like sexual content and stuff like that, but it was a lot more raw. And I see she's returning back to that, but I'm like, did you return back to that because now you got your stamp and now you can be yourself? Do you have to go through that? Do you have to fake it to make it, to kind of be who you want to be? And that shouldn't even be the case. So I don't know. I think it's also like a cultural thing too, because back in the day, like, take the Brat as who she was and drop her in 2014, and what do you know wants to listen to a girl that's like
with a FUBU jersey,
like huge pant, like there's no sex appeal in it. Like, I feel like back in the day, and it also goes with where hip hop started. It started with, I would say, more genuine. Even back then, there were like two Roxannes. And there was the like light-skinned sexy one, and then there was like the dark-skinned I'm just spitting one. And like, who do you think is gonna win that battle? So it's always kind of been there, but I feel like there was a point in time where all these females came together and just kind of, they were out at the same time. So it's a lot hard to deny them as a group than it is to deny them individually. Now you just see women rappers pop up like sporadically. It's no support system, I feel like. And I feel like being a woman, you kind of always need a support system. No matter how we want it to be, it's just not like that. Like, I can't imagine doing it by myself. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, it's good that, like, male rappers nowadays, well, that are getting bigger now, like Kendrick's coming more into power, so now he's bringing up, like, Rhapsody.
Yeah, he's bringing up
and then,
quality.
Yeah, so he's, like, he's the guy that's like, okay, I have power now, so let me put the people at one place, so it's nice to see all the female MCs.
Yeah. But it's definitely that cultural mind frame, because Kendrick Lamar is thinking vastly different than Migos.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so who would they pick to bring up as their woman rapper and their clique may not gonna look anything like who Kendrick Lamar is gonna bring to the table. And it's definitely, like, in my opinion, like a cultural thing. In Kendrick Lamar's world, his culture is poverty, community, like that's what he knows. And then there's other people where their culture is like Chief Keef, like it's a whole different environment, it's a whole different ball game, and it kind of depends on who's bringing these ladies to the forefront.
What are you most proud of? Like, which songs or which albums? Like,
I don't know, it's hard because when we do band songs, you would, like, when you start playing it, like we were jamming like new stuff for the album coming up, and you wouldn't even think like it would sound that way. Then I'll be like in the studio and I'll make it be, I'm like, oh dang. And then I hear Megs, I'm like, oh dang. Like, but I would say the tape probably, I would say our latest tape, Like It Is, and our first tape, Creature Creative. Because that was like our first, all right, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna just get out and do it. I think that was like, what about
Dang.
Here, I personally, even though I'm not even on the track, I love Go. It's just, it's one song off of the Van Gogh mixtape. And the first time I heard that, I didn't know what to expect because you guys were saying you were working on a mixtape. Yeah. And we were just playing live shows at this point, and then heard that, it's the first track on Van Gogh?
That was first track, yeah.
Yeah, that, I was like, this is legit. And so that really got me just like really stoked on our future endeavors. And now, I like Go a lot, and I'm really excited for the next album that we're coming out with, because it seems like every album you can kind of see the progression of where the music's going, and I think it's getting more refined.
I have like 3 favorites. My first one, I agree, Go, because I feel like it was a turning point for Dougie and I, on the level where I think we were playing with samples and playing with new sounds on a different level than we had in the past. And so that was kind of like a stepping stone in a sense. So I was just proud to kind of make a shift. And then second one is Moon of France. I think that's one of Derek's favorites too. But Moon of France, because one, I'm proud of the production. It was done kind of like from the ground up. I think a long time ago, our guitarist Eric had sent Chris a riff, and he just switched it from the guitar to the keys, and then we had like a bassoon player on it. It was just like this, it was kind of like pretty cool. And then as far as subject matter goes, it was just kind of subject where I kind of got personal, and it was written for, I have like a lot of little girl cousins, and it was written for them. And so that was kind of my first time. I'm a writer, and I mostly write fiction. So even if you listen to my music, it's mostly like made up. That's just kind of how my brain works. I like to create like from scratch. So I usually use different experiences and different people in my life and stuff. I use that as influences for it, but I never really put like my true. It's weird. Can't explain it.
It's like Ryan.
Yeah, it's like Ryan. It's like people thought Ryan was a real person, and it wasn't, and it was just kind of all made up, but it did stem from something, and it did have a personal meaning behind it, but it wasn't just like my story. So I think Moon de France is like, I got more personal, and it meant something to me to write that. And then third, I'm most proud of this group that we have now, because I feel like we're all actually, I feel like we're together, we're cohesive. We kind of establish what we want to be, who we want to be. It's not like 100% there. We definitely kind of just accepted that this is what we're doing, and we're not trying to be like anybody else. We're not trying to fit in. We're not looking for that box we talked about earlier, because before it was just like how to get to the box, how to get to rap and hip hop, and how to, and now it's just like, I don't care where we're headed, but
It's like we showed up to the box and then we're like, I'm gonna turn around.
yeah, like, I don't really want to be in this box. So I think we got to the box, and then we realized that we were going in the wrong direction, and now we're like back on track. And so I'm proud of who we've become over this last year, I feel like.
Once again, that was Magna Carda. Thanks to those guys for coming through. You can check them out at magnacardamusic.com. That's Carda with a D, not a T, for all you English history fans. You can find links to their social media accounts. You can see their schedule of upcoming live shows. They're starting a July residency this Thursday, July 9th, 2015 at Holy Mountain. They'll be there every Thursday in July. Check them out live. You can also stream their music, download some songs for free at their site. You can also find them on iTunes. Support local music, support your Austin Public Library. Until next time, peace out, Austin. Peace out, El Mundo.